Yes, sir. What's up, man? I'm trying to make the thing hard. Say hard. Trying to make the thing fast and quick, man. I got some games to get. You feel me? This my Georgia versus Florida recap, man. I had a good time. And if you had, that was my first Georgia game. If you ain't never went to the Jacksonville, Georgia versus Florida, man, I highly recommend it, man. Save with some money and go. I'll hopefully go again this year, if all go as planned. But either way, Florida fans are cool, And what the Florida fans, I was sitting there, about 20 feet over from my right, it was some Florida fans about to fight. Man, you feel me? Like second quarter. I don't know what happened. I think one Florida fan threw some at the Florida fans at low, and it was like a whole row by 8 dudes, getting into it with a dude up top. I don't know. But it was like going on for about 2 minutes. It was funny. Like the game was like 28. Well, the game was like 28-3 or something like that. So yeah, I guess that was the only entertainment. Or it was like 21 or something, 20. I don't know. Either way, it was. I had a good time. Florida fans was lit, and my voice gone. My voice gone. I was sitting in the Florida session too. Like in session 233. If you're from Jacksonville, you go to the Jaguars game or I went to the Georgia-Florida game. I'm sitting at session 233. I was like on row S or V, something like that. So I was in the middle, or the Florida side. So I'm surrounded by Florida fans talking junk the whole time. And it's kind of hard for me to make this video, cause I was taking it all in. I wasn't really watching it as I would at the house, and analyzing stuff. I was mostly, just taking in me being in Jacksonville, watching my first Georgia game, being around Florida fans, talking junk the whole time. It was a good experience, you feel me? A lot of fine Florida girls out there on the way to the game. You feel me? And one thing that they showed out, they was lit. The Florida fans was lit. Even though they knew they was gonna get a beat down, they was lit and they showed up, I give it to Florida, they band did good. And I like they band, I like that little Florida, defense chant. It sound like Jaw, like, and everybody clap their hand. Like the Florida Gators, the chump. That's fine, But, yeah, man, Georgia came up, did what they had to do, Like I said, it was lit, man. You feel me? I highly recommend it, So either way, let me get into the game, game start, stations, few drops. Darnell Washington, Ladd McConkey, his hands gone. Hopefully we get Arian Smith back. We're going to need him versus Tennessee big time. They got Jalen Hyatt, we got Arian Smith. So if they going to score 40, we got to score 40, We need Arian Smith back and healthy, I'm glad Jalen Carter back. He played, and he was a monster. It's night and day when he in the game. Like, the first play he got in, it was I think a third down. He got pressure on Anthony Richardson. They were like 38, 37. And that was the play when Kamari Lassiter had hit the dude. He hit the wide receiver around the head or whatever. Wrapped him up around the head, and it was an incomplete pass or something. It's clearly not a day that Jalen Carter's a monster when he's there. I mean, you can clearly see it. So that's a plus. We get him back for Tennessee. Aiden Mitchell didn't play, Hopefully get him back versus Tennessee. We gonna need him. But yeah, running backs did good, outside of Kenny McIntyre's fumble. That was tough. That was just a good play by Amari Burney. I mean, he was falling down. Amari Burney was in behind him, and he made a good play, stripped it out. But Kenny McIntyre capitalized, and, he refocused, and start running that thing. Drag Brenton Cox into the touchdown, Brenton Cox salty. He been 5 years, 2 back-to-back losses versus Georgia. Maybe he got him one time, Brenton Cox had a good game, though, He was all over the field. I mean, it meant more to him, him. But nonetheless, when I realized, AR-15, he didn't play horrible. A lot of people say he played horrible. He didn't play his best game, but he played well. You know what I'm saying? Like Georgia was getting after him, and he played what he could do with the weapons he had. Like, I knew Florida didn't have no weapons, Like, you don't know Kyle Pitts, one know Kadarius Toney, you know. Like I say, Justin Shorter, he a good weapon. You know, Kelee Ringo had that. Oh, I'm tired of Kelee Ringo mistiming his jumps. That's like the fourth game he did it. I mean, he did it versus Vanderbilt. Luckily, the dude dropped the ball. He did it versus Florida. It's like every game he mistimed his jump. And it's tough. I think he did Missouri. But either way, he got it. He did. I'm going to get into that. Kelee Ringo versus Tennessee. I'm trying this all Florida rail. So, I said Daijun Edwards had a very good game. Darnell Washington had, a pretty good game outside of that one drop. Defense did their thing. JDJ and Chris Smith had a day. I mean, Dumas Johnson, man, that man, oh my goodness, like dude was all over the field making tackles. Talking his jump, backing it up, man. Dude hitting. Dude is a monster. Future first round pick if he stay healthy. Like, if you a team that needs an inside linebacker, he's a spitting image of Bobby Wagner. Like a spitting image, same size, around the same. Well, Bobby Wagner like 5'11", 6 foot. A little under 6'1". Dumas Johnson like 6'1" and a quarter, 6'1" and a half. But sideline to sideline speed and hitting, they just identical. Like I said, Chris Smith was all over the field, had a good day. Malachi Starks, he had, a decent day. He outside of that one big play he gave up that got Florida back in the game. When he tried to go for the interception, like he seen Anthony Richardson's eyes, and he automatically cheated up and he threw the ball. He thought he was gonna get a pick and he threw it right over his head. He was this close from tipping it or whatever, but it just went right over his head. Xavier Henderson for 70-yard touchdown. They got the Florida back in the game. They were really, like, if it was just like, the first touchdown he gave it was like 3-7. I mean, like 3. They had 3 points. Or he made it 10. It was like, all right, okay. But that touchdown was like, oh man, there you go. Like, it was like 3 points. Then I think they came back in the half, third quarter. Oh, I think they kicked another field goal. It was like 6. Then I think, what it was, yeah, they came back third quarter. They got a long drive. That was big bad Alexander on fourth down. That was no, I can't really blame him because he hiked the ball. Then Kirby called timeout. He was running. He bumped into Anthony Richardson. They called unsportsmanlike conduct or whatever what they call 15-yard penalty. Then Trevor Etienne ran into got 10 points. Now I think how it was. Oh yeah, that's when Kenny McIntosh fumbled the ball. And then we hit them to a field goal. They got 13. And then what it was, I think Stetson threw a interception or something, or one of those plays, I can't remember. I think Stetson threw an interception. They got a field goal off of it. And then Kenny McIntosh fumbled, I think. And then I think what it was, we punted the ball or something. Stetson Bennett threw an interception. I can't remember. And then that's when the 70-yard touchdown happened. It was like, oh man. It was 20-28. And then when Florida fans got back in the game, they felt like, oh yeah, we gonna win it because Stetson's sorry. Then when they got back in the game, the fans were roaring, go Gators, go, get up and go. They couldn't go no more. Eventually, Georgia shut that down. I was talking junk. And I was like, okay, Florida, Then that way, we went up like 6 plays, 75 yards. Scored a touchdown, 35. It was 35-20. And then there were Gators fans start leaving. They were like, oh, there you go. We thought, okay, then when it hit 35-20, that when Gator fans left, start leaving. The stadium kept on getting empty. Then, of course, 40, it was 42-20. Then Mikael Williams got a sack. Then Chad Shamley got a sack on Anthony Richardson. So, Anthony Richardson, he didn't have a bad game. Well, but he didn't play, like I said, he didn't play his best, but he didn't play horrible. He did all he can do. I mean, I'd give his grade like a 73 out of 100. He didn't play superb, but, It could have been worse. It could have been way worse because, he overthrew some throws. It was a little inaccurate, but the pass rush was there. Man, he was getting pressure in his face. Like, dude had to keep on running, throwing off-balance throws. We missed. Like, we had, like that's the thing about Georgia. Stats don't pop up, but you clearly see they getting hands on the quarterback. And he, Anthony Richardson, athletic, the way he do, athletic as he is, he break those arm tackles. And that's going to be key versus Tennessee. Can we get Hendon Hook on the ground? Yes, we get in his face. But we can't let him break away, then, use his eyes to get the DBs off balance. Then it's, a 45-yard touchdown pass to Cedric Tillman or Jalen Hyatt or something. Because one of the safeties our cornerbacks took a false step and the dude, wide receiver, ran right past him or something. Like, you got to get Hendon Hook on the ground. And I think that's going to happen. But like I said, this is all Florida, Georgia right now. Florida, like I said, I give it Florida. Game could have been 40. I mean, it was embarrassing. I was talking so much junk. Me and my brother was talking so much junk. Like, it was like, I think Florida had 16 yards. The Georgia like 139 or something. It was something like that in the first quarter. Florida had like 16 yards. That was embarrassing. They had like -8 rushing yards and 22 pass. I can't even remember. It was like, man, Florida fans, like, they was embarrassed. They was like, Florida fans, like, man, we're going to have more penalties than we have points. And at first, I thought it was 2. I mean, Florida, like, they had, like, I think 5, 6, 7 penalties and they 0 points, But either way, Florida didn't give up. They didn't give up. The game could have been, like, 45-3, 50-3, 55-20. But, they didn't give up. Not on Stetson Bennett. Like, Stetson Bennett, one of the interceptions wasn't his fault. The one that Don Blaylock, that was just a phenomenal play. Brock Bowers had a phenomenal. That was like the Brock Bowers play. Like, one of those plays, like, you could only do so much. And the dude, was there on Brock Bowers' play. The ball tipped around and Brock Bowers, somebody caught the ball still and kept on going. Like, dude was just a monster. He made, like, 3 big plays versus Florida. Brock Bowers just can't stop him. And then, Don Blaylock, he caught the ball. Then somehow the Florida player took the ball from him on the way down. So I don't count an interception. But he definitely had 3 real interceptions. One interception, like the first possession of the game, Rashad Torrance dropped the ball, hit him right in the hands. And then the second interception, I think Trey Dean dropped it or something. He had to reach for it. And he missed it. And then the third interception, of course, he threw an interception with in double coverage. And when that was the one that made me mad the most. Like, he had Darnell Washington wide open in the flat. That's the easy 8 yards. You get Darnell Washington head of steam, they got to tackle him. That's the easy 8 yards, move the ball. And instead, he threw it where I think it was Dylan Bell, Marcus Romeo, Jack Saint. He had a step on him, but he didn't throw it, over him enough. And he still had the safety coming to help knock his head off. He still threw it, then the cornerback behind him intercepted the ball. Like, Stetson, like 19 for 38. He didn't have a good game at all. His stats were heavily inflated by that 78-yard touchdown by Brock Bowers. That was a big play. Although Darnell Washington did drop a big pass that would have resulted in a big play too. And Lat McConkey had a drop. And it was some pass interference called, like, Aaron Smith. Dude, you can't do nothing with him. Like, I already knew it was going to Aaron Smith. And I wish Aaron Smith would target more. That what threw me off. Because one play, Aaron Smith had a clearly big step on him. I don't know if Stetson's arm was hurting or what, if he just didn't see him. But Aaron Smith had a step on his man, blew him off the doors, but he threw it down. He threw the check down to Darnell Washington for like 6, 7 yards. It was like, okay. But when Marcus Romeo Jackson had 2 dudes in his area, and Darnell Washington had nobody in his area in a 12-yard radius, he threw it in double coverage. Like, I don't know. Stetson can't. Like, I'm going to talk about that versus Georgia versus Tennessee. I might do that video right after I get done working out. you know. But this all for Georgia, Florida. I mean, Florida showed up. You know, they fans, salute they fans, you know. It's going to be a long year for Florida. I mean, but Georgia's got to keep on winning and getting better. Go Dogs, baby. And y'all make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'm out.